When it comes to international upstream oil and gas, does an oilfield services contractor really have to know about the arrangements between its client, an operator, and the host government? Smart Contracts blog. The bright side of contracting in oil and gas. Welcome to the Smart Contracts blog, and in this episode, I will give you an answer to the question how far and to which extent an oilfield services contractor or a number of oilfield services contractors have to be aware about the host government agreements between its client, if it's an operator, and a host government, a country which is recipient of the investment of that operator in the upstream oil and gas. Special thanks to HAB project. Located here in the heart of the Mexico City, HAB is the unique and unparalleled platform for connection, creation, and innovation. Thank you very much for hosting the filming of the Smart Contracts blog. So let's respond to this question through the story. Let's say the company called Shmukoil, a company that is an operator of upstream oil field in one of the Middle Eastern countries, hires a company called Shmezerford to provide, supply, and install completions equipment for, let's say, 65 wells in that oil field. And when the contract is negotiated, a very standard liquidated damages clause becomes a part of that contract. Let's say a company called Shmezerford has a lawyer called Olga who was negotiating that contract with the company called Shmukoil, and after roughly 2.5 months of negotiating quite a large contract, the contract came out as a very nice tailored set of terms and conditions, but the liquidated damages clause is standard and is still there. Let's say 1% per week and up to 10% of the contract value. Other liquidated damages for any delays in supply, and there is a separate clause for the delays in the installation, in provision of the installation services. That company called Shmezerford agreed as part of the commercial contract with the company called Shmukoil. About 7-8 months into the contract, Shmezerford lawyer Olga goes to a business product line to discuss how the contract goes, and she hears that everything is absolutely fine. The business unit, the product line, is late with the delivery of the completion equipment. However, they say that a company called Shmukoil has confirmed that the delay is absolutely fine, and they confirmed it through the email, saying that their own facilities are not yet ready, that the wells are not yet ready to accept the completion equipment, and that the delay by Shmezerford is absolutely fine. So Shmezerford has all the time to finish, and in about 2 months they are expecting the equipment to be supplied. Now, the main part here is that company called Shmukoil has a host government agreement with the country where it operates and develops and builds the wells. And it's an operator of the project under the terms and conditions of the specific contract, the host government contract, where it promises to develop the wells, and in return it will be paid certain amount of dollars per barrel, and its costs in developing the fields and building the wells will be recovered by the government after a certain amount of audits. If we imagine the governmental audit for the international upstream oil and gas project, for the purposes of approving certain costs for cost recovery, we will see that the compliance with terms and conditions of the contract will be of the main focus and of the main concern to any auditor that comes and verifies the costs of the operator before they are approved for cost recovery by the government. Can you imagine that the auditor will look at the contract where the contractor is late by a few months and operator still does not apply liquidated damages, and operator will explain it by showing an email by one of the engineers or one of the business managers in the company saying, well, here is the email, dear auditor, you have to recover my costs, you have to approve this cost on this contract, because you know what, we were not ready ourselves, so we are allowed by the email to this contractor called Shmezerford to be late with the supply and installation of the completion equipment. Well, maybe in certain countries that is a possibility, but with the lower oil price and in the most of the countries in the Middle East and in those countries where international investors are coming for development of the upstream projects, and it's happening on, it's like an initial stage of inviting international investors, it's absolutely impossible that any auditor will get into looking at the emails and approving the costs and the major costs for cost recovery based on a certain practices of contract management, of contractor management that are based on, let's say, emails or verbal conversations. I cannot imagine this situation. For this case specifically, it would be unimaginable. So in this case, Shmezerford's lawyer, called Olga, have advised the business unit to run to their client, company called Shmukoil, and sign a formal contract amendment where both parties agree to implement a new delivery date and a new installation date, and that contract amendment would be something that you can surely and confidently present to the auditor in the future. The presentation of that contract amendment would be done by the company called Shmukoil. Shmezerford has nothing to do with that. But if the contract amendment is not initiated and does not appear, when a company called Shmukoil is going to talk to their auditors and is going to lose certain amounts of money as non-recoverable due to the fact that they didn't manage the contract and they did not formally amend the contract, the same amounts of money are going to be deducted or lost by the company called Shmezerford. So the question is, to which extent an oilfield services operator must understand the nature of the agreements and the nature of the relationships between its clients, operators of the international upstream projects with the host government? I'd say the more understanding and knowledge there is, the better. I hope you like this video, and for more eye-opening information, you can join my course online. It's called Understanding Contractual Terms and Conditions in Upstream Oil and Gas. See you in the next episode. Thank you very much.